What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got a new Titan Master to talk about. It was revealed by the lovely folks over at Deceptor Talk over on Twitter. I will put a link in the description. Make sure you check it out. Give those guys a follow. And seriously, right? Firstly, we need to give love to people doing the reveals. Say that every time. It's important. Secondly, if they had reveals for Wave 5, maybe they'll have reveals for Wave 6. So you definitely should be following them on Twitter. They are showing us Wolfwire and Monkzo. So Wolfwire then. What do we see? Well, we've got a 9-cost body. Remember the rules, a body must be played with a head and can only be played with one head. You must have a body and head together. In that combination, no mucking about. And we see, for our 9 stars, attack of 5 or 6, not bad. Health of 12, not bad. Defense of 2, not bad. Or 0, oh, okay. You see, the defense of 0 in body mode and bot mode have been confirmed to be different. That is not ideal. We don't like that at all. We don't mind the health. We like the attack. But the defense is very, very bad. Stat-wise, it's actually a good character if you ignore the defense of 0 in body mode. Hey-ho. Now, it is also a melee character in both modes, more on that in a moment, and it is a beast in ult mode, which is not me trying to sound cool and saying it's good, it is literally me saying it is an actual literal beast. Not the first one we've seen, of course. We did see Raider Apeface came through as a beast in the previous wave. No support for beasts so far, but, you know, gotta happen one day, right? So we have a beast. Life is good. So in ult mode, when you flip to this mode, you may scrap a green icon card from your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. And drawing 2 cards is good. Transformers is not a game where we draw a huge amount of cards. You know, drawing 2 cards is pep talk, which, in terms of pure draw, is the best draw that we've actually got. Now, we got stuff like Equipment Enthusiast that can draw more, but I mean in terms of guaranteed straight draw, it's the best we've got. We did get Universal Network access back in Wave 2, but given that it's a star card to draw free, and I've not seen it pop up in any deck lists that have done well, maybe in some smaller tournaments, but certainly not in the bigger tournaments, I think we can say that drawing 2 is pretty good. And there's plenty of others that can draw too. Back in Wave 1, we had Autobot Hound, and it had a very similar skill. When you flip to this in ult mode, you may scrap a white icon card and draw 2. It's not a game-making card. It's not a skill that's going to make you go, I am definitely playing this. But it's quite nice as a handy bonus, assuming you're playing enough green icon cards. Though do remember, a green icon card is one whereby, if you flip it while battling, attacking or defending, at the end of your turn, you may swap a card in your hand for it. So as long as you're playing enough green icon cards, you will end up with them in hand. But then we go to body mode, and when this battles, attacking or defending, instead of swapping a card from your hand with one of your flipped green icon cards after the battle, you may put one of those green icon cards into your hand. This is gigantic. Because you see, this gives you extra cards, and it gives you a huge advantage, but you don't have to give up anything. You just pick up a card. At the end, when you battle, you just pick up an extra card. The last time we saw something even vaguely similar to this was back in Wave 2 with Dinobot Swoop. But Dinobot Swoop let you get an extra green icon card, only when you attacked. So Swoop would still let you get an extra one, but it was only when you attacked. This is when you attack or defend, which makes a gigantic difference. Although again, if you're doing this in body mode, and that's where the skill happens, if you're defending, you are defending with a character with 0 defense, so you've been warned. So now all of a sudden, all you need to do here is play a bunch of green icon cards, and you've got a character that is getting those cards back more easily, while also being able to draw cards, and I'm still telling you I like the stats on this. I still think this is pretty good stat-wise. And this all of a sudden ends up looking like a really, really good character. I mean, it's a melee character, which opens up things like power sword and body armor. And the great thing here is that all of a sudden, body armor gives you tough 3. And then, alright, you might have a defensive 0, but it doesn't really matter. Or you just go, you know what, I'm going a bit glass cannon, I'm not going to worry too much about protecting myself. Maybe whack in something like a force field as a fairly blunt way to protect me. And then just go with power sword and go bold and go, you know what, I've got an attack of 6 anyway. That's pretty high. Let's go lots of orange, let's go power sword, whack in a couple of force field as emergency protection, and then just go. And that would work. And then you fill out the deck with green icon cards. We all see a whole bunch of stuff like Bashing Shield, which is really good for getting rid of armor, like the aforementioned Force Field. If you're going at a fairly aggressive deck, you might want to consider Focus Fire. Gives you bold 1 for each Focus Fire you've played this turn. That's pretty gosh darn good, and then you can play another one straight away. And something like Focus Fire would be so much better with Wolfwire. Because with Focus Fire, you really need to be playing 3 of them at the same time to really take advantage. And then, of course, if you're using Focus Fire in an orange deck and then also taking advantage of Power Sword, it's going to get pretty silly in terms of bold pretty quickly. But if you're getting 2 green icons back after every battle attacking or defending, you're going to very quickly build these cards up in your hand, and then you're actually going to be able to play 3 Focus Fire at the same time. Or maybe you play something like Wedge Formation. Now, Wedge Formation depends on the different kind of characters you've got. You know, Wolfwire here is a melee character, so you repair 1. But if you've got a specialist on the field, you plan 1. If you've got a ranged on the field, you draw a card. Extra draw. And while we're talking ranged, this really does seem like a character, and there's very many of these out at the moment, that wants to be played with the Airstrike Patrol. And it's small enough in terms of a star value that you will be able to play it with the Airstrike Patrol. And as a side note here, you'll actually have 1 star left over. Well, it depends how you go. You see, Wolfwire as a body is 9. If you go Tailwind, Night Flight and Stormcloud like most people, then you're adding 13. That puts you up to 22. And the head we've been given with this, we'll get to in a minute, is a 2-star. So you could go a 2-star head with a star card, or you could go for just a 3-star head. If you go for a star card and you are going into an aggressive deck, might I suggest Mounted Missiles? Biased because it's one of the ones that I was lucky enough to be able to reveal, but it also gives you a double orange icon, +2 attack, and can go in your armor or utility slot, saving your weapon slot for something else. But the reason I'm thinking Airstrike Patrol here, and I know I'm not the only one that's thinking that, right? I know it's not that original, because they are the green icon characters. Raider Tailwind, when one of your Airstrike Patrol battles and you flip at least 1 green icon, you get +2 attack, +1 defense. And really here, right, you should be able to have a green icon card in your hand when you're playing Wolfwire here. That should be something that you're able to do. And I know not everybody uses the Airstrike Patrol for their skills in bot mode, but the fact of the matter is, if you tap Night Flight in bot mode and scrap 3 green icon cards from your hand, your opponent does 3 damage to it. One of their characters, I mean. But if you scrap 3 of the same cards, you also repair 3 damage from one of your characters. Similarly, looking at Stormcloud in bot mode, you tap it and scrap 3 green icon cards from your hand, give you bold 3 until end of turn, but if they've got the same name, you get bold 6 until end of turn. And just like we talked about with Focus Fire, on which this skill is very definitely based, it is going to be way more likely that you can collect 3 of these with the same name using Wolfwire's bot mode ability. There is an awful lot to like here. I'm thinking aggressive deck with the Airstrike Patrol, personally. That's how I'm building Wolfwire. It's not the only way, but that's what I'm thinking. Now, we do have a head to talk about here as well. It does seem very much like these reveals are coming out in pairs, and everyone who is revealing a body is also revealing a head. Shouldn't be the weirdest thing ever that that's happening. Monkzo? It's fine. I mean, it's a 2-star head, which I believe makes it the cheapest character we've seen so far. 2 stars is small. But it begins in head mode on the alt mode of a character that has a body mode. When that character is KO'd, even if it's your last character, you deploy it in bot mode, i.e. you cannot play it in bot mode. It has to be played as a head. Is it any good? Gives you +1 attack, which is alright, but remember that Flame Out in head mode, now it is a 3-star head, but like I said, if you're playing the Airstrike Patrol, with this, you will have 3 stars to put into a head. It gives you bold 2. And it really depends on how aggressively orange your deck is. If you're playing an awful lot of orange icons, then you're probably better off going for the bold 2 over the +1 attack. If you're not playing that many orange, then you probably are better going for the +1 attack. Certainly the build that I'm looking at here, Flame Out's going to be better than Monkso is. Now in terms of the bot mode, 3 attack, 2 health, 0 defense, can't flip. It is a melee character. We appreciate the fact that it is a melee character. Other than that, it's not great. I mean, none of these are really great, alright? The thing is that if we were to play Flame Out, we'd have 1 less attack, 1 more defense, and bold 2, while also being a melee character, which again, I would prefer. The thing about all of these heads are, it is just 1 big attack, essentially, or as big as you can get, because something simple like a marksmanship or a plasma burst will get a straight KO on these, and then that's kind of it, you're out. So, you know, you've been warned. Either way, I'm a big fan of Wolfwire. I think it's my favourite one of the ones we've seen so far. It's certainly one I'm very excited about, although I would play it with Flame Out before I'd play it with Monkso. But maybe that's just me. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to know your opinion on it. How good you think it is, what you would play it with. So go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Transformers and a bunch of other games. And do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all kinds of fun stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.